saying that it doesn't have an account with my mail. Ragil, for you also the same issue. Okay. So I need to check with the attendance. We do one thing. Ragil. Actually, Ragil, you also not added into the batch. Okay. So just wait for some time. So tomorrow you will be getting the access. Clear? Okay, guys. Yesterday we were seeing about what was the last topic? Downloads. Okay. So yesterday we discussed till the tables, and we do start with the forms, right? So how to create a form? So why we need to create a form? In the real time basis forms topic should start by today. Okay, thank you, Ashita. What are the different purpose why we need to create a forms? Any examples? Let me create one index file for admission purposes, whatever the admission it may be. It is related to educational or hospital or whatever. Okay. So if you're joining into a new organization, okay, so definitely you have to, you'll be having a dashboard. Okay. In the dashboard, you'll be filling all the details, like what is your, the entire details about you, the experience, your name and your details, your location and your PAN card number, Aadhaar card number, everything they will be asking. And for hostel admission, exactly. So let me create index.html file. So now we are going to create a form. So how to create a form? So using a form elements. So first let me get a basic structure. So this is the basic structure. Inside this, I'm going to create a form. Okay. So now let's take the job portal registration. Okay. So for job portal registration, what are the different inputs we will be getting from the user? What are the inputs we will be getting from the user if it is a job portal registration? So just imagine you are a user. What are the different registration you will be getting? There is input, my dear. So let's take the Naukri. Okay, you're fresher, so that is why you're not getting a point. What I'm trying to say. Okay, you're just applying for a job in a online. So let's take it's a walk-in. Okay. What are the details you will be getting it from the user, from the candidate? What are the important things? How you will be filtering from the resume? Sorry, from the registration. Any guesses? Yes. Good evening, Venkatesh. Okay. I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Just I want to confirm. My voice is audible. Links, ma'am. Okay. So in the job portal registration, so I'm going to get the username. Okay. That is, let's say, a full name of user and the last name, and then the date of birth, and you know, applying for the opportunity. What is the designation they are applying for? And then let's say what are the other things we'll be getting? Designation, and then what is the salary expectation, right? Salary expectations, and we'll be getting cover letter of that particular user, right? Cover letter or some description about him or her. Okay, and then what else? And we will give finally we have a submit button. If the data they entered is wrong, they can reset the that is entire content. And also, if they're applying for any TCS kind of job, TCS and other a reputed organization, definitely they will be asking to set the password for the sign up page, right? So you'll be getting a password, and what is the telephone number of them, the contact number, and the email ID, and what else? So let's take these are the some inputs we are going to get it from the user. Okay. So now we'll create a table. Okay, so let's create a table. Let me give a form. So form is an element. So you can also give it like this, or you can just type and enter. So it automatically comes. Okay. So action means action is an attribute of this form. Okay. So here you will be giving a value. So what particular value will be giving? If example you're trying to store this form details in the different language, that is service scripting language, then you can specify that in a action inside the inside as the that as a value. Okay, so next to this I'm going to arrange this in a table format because I want it as a table row. Okay, inside the table row I'm going to get two values. Okay, let's imagine creating a table. Inside the table, I'm just creating a table row. Okay. So the first one will be the heading. Okay. I'm giving a heading of it. Let me give a heading to be uh, walk-in. Let's say I'm just giving a Microsoft walk-in. Okay. So this is the heading. Later we can do some presentation and all. So first we will complete this. Next, I'm creating a table row, and I need a name of the particular person. So how we'll be getting table data? Inside the table data, name, and again table data. Inside this table data, I'm going to get the input from the user. What is the input? The full name is going to be a text input, right? So the input is an element, and the type is going to be what? Text. And also, if you want to mention the size, I'm going to mention the text size. That is, text box size is going to be some 30. And the other things like you can also give name and ID. But as of now, we are not going to use Java. So let it be like this. Okay. So here, just I've created the input. So let's see the execution. So here we have like Microsoft walk-in and the name. So I just want to color this. So for that, I'm just giving some values and the other stuffs what I need. So I need to create a border. So let me give a border to be 3. Okay. And then a cell padding value. What is cell padding? Yesterday we discussed, right? A space between the content, the inside the cell, you'll be having some content, right? The space between the content and the border. So let me give some 2, and the width is going to be some 50 percentage. And background color, let me give salmon, and it should align in a center. And also I need cell spacing going to 2. Okay. So now you can see it has been placed here. You can also make, where is this? For this one, you need to make some changes for this Microsoft walk-in, because this table row, it was like, it is not under the table data. Let me copy this and keep it here. Okay. So now it is inside the thing, but you can see it is splitted into two things because we have mentioned as a table data. So to make it merge, what particular attribute we'll be using? Anyone can tell me? So I need to merge this particular column. So how I can merge? What is the attribute name? What is the attribute value we'll be giving? Yesterday we discussed, I think, about table. So we'll be using call span is equals to 2. So now it is like this. Okay. So the next is, again, you need to create it for the other things also. This is for your full name or just a name. And let me copy this. I'm creating the another input that is going to be a last name. Okay. So last name again, that is also to be text. And what is the next output is going to be date of birth. So date of birth here, this date of birth will be in a date format, right? So I'll be changing that to the type to be the input element. It has an attribute called type. So in the type, the value get differs. Okay. So previously we've been mentioning as a text, so now it is going to be date. So here, let me change this to date of birth. Okay. So now you can see the option to give a date of birth. And let me copy this. What is the next thing we have given? Designation, right? So designation means for which particular designation they are trying to apply. For this one, I'm trying to use a select option, that is select element. So input is one of the element of form element, and the other element which I'm going to introduce is, it is select element. Okay, inside the select element, I have a different options here. Option, let's say manager. Assistant manager or program manager or a project manager. Okay. So these are the multiple, option I'm just giving. So now if you go and check, you can see the select option to choose the values like this. Okay. And next is, what else? The salary expectation. For salary expectation, let me copy this table. Sorry. Let me copy this table row. So I'm giving a heading to be salary expectation. Okay. Or expected salary, whatever. So here for expected salary, I'm using the input element again. Okay. But here I'm going to give a checkboxes. Okay. So checkbox type is equal to checkbox. Okay. And let me give a value. First checkbox is going to be some or. Okay, better I will do, what I will do is, let me set a range. Okay. So range in the sense it starts from 10 LPA to 12 is a 20 LPA. Okay, this is the salary expectation. So you can choose the values here. If you want, you can also increase the width of this. Okay. So here you can see the salary expectation. You can just choose like this. And gender, yes, one more thing, we have to select the gender. For gender, and copy this. For gender, I'll be using a type value to be radio. Okay. And male, and then this will be having a female and others. Okay. So like this, you'll be giving a multiple value. So you can choose any particular value for this gender. Okay. So next is after gender, uh, you need to get the password, telephone number, and email ID. To get the password, how we can give? Let me give it in the table. Let me copy the previous one. So password is going to be what? Input element and the attribute type, and the value is going to be password. Okay. And you go and check. So it will be in a default. So you can change the password as you wish. Okay. And then email. So to accept email alone, so just we are changing the type to be email. Okay, clear? And then what about the phone numbers? If I am giving, to get the, or to get the phone number, so how we will be giving it? Any idea? So as of now, we have discussed so many things, right? So I'm just give me some example, and you can also give. Okay, Harshita Vanzel. Okay, you can also give a placeholder here. Let me tell you later. Okay, so here in the input type, let me create one more. I'm going to get the phone number or contact number of a candidate. So to that, let me give the contact number to be what? Tell. So the type value is going to be tell. So here you need to give some regular expressions. That is a pattern. So pattern will be in a different way you can give it. So first, there is some format which we are trying to follow. Example, I want the three values. It should be from 0 to 9. So then how you will be giving from 0 to 9, and the value is going to be within the curly brace. We need to mention 3. Okay, the first three numbers should be 0 to 9, and the next 0 to 9, again 3, and 0 to 9, and I need two values. Okay, like this, I'm just giving some patterns. So you need to give in that format. Okay, example 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. So if I'm okay, so here you need to mention it as a required one. Then only it will be showing an error if you're not going to give it properly. Clear? So next, what is the next thing? I think yeah, text area. So how to give get the thing text area about tell me about yourself or sell yourself about you. Okay, so just you're giving this particular text, and here you can create a text area. Text area is an element inside this. Uh, you need to give two attributes. One is column. Let me give 30, and the row is going to be 30. Okay. So row is going to be 30 and the column is going to be 30. Let me increase the column 16. Okay. So now you can just give an example like, so I am, so like this, you can give some description to the candidate. Okay. So like this. So if you want, you can also decrease the things. Let me decrease it. Okay, like this you can give. And the submit button. So here I'm giving a false span, or I can give it like table data. So input. So in the input, I'm just giving a value to be submit. Okay. And what the value name, that is a display in the button, what particular value is going to display, just you can give mention here. I'm just giving a submit, and the other table data. You can also span this, or you can increase the size of this value. Okay, let me increase the size. Reset. Okay, so this is a simple form, how you can create the form easily. And what are the other stuffs we have? Example, as of now, we discussed about the elements of what? We discussed about the input element. So what are the different, type values we have, that and all we have mentioned. In case you can also get the value of colors and images, and I'm sorry, you want to get the user resume, right? So for that, you can give table data resume pd of input, and I'm removing this. You can give it as a file. So now you can see, you can browse the files here. Okay, finally, you can close the submit button. So now, oh, we can see here, you can see what it is showing. Please match the requested format. If I'm giving it in the requested format, let's give. This is the one, and yeah. Yeah, it is accepting. Okay, because whatever the format which we are giving in the pattern, so that will be allowed. Clear. So next, so we understood about the input element types and what are called as the other attributes we have. There is something called as size we already used, and required already used, and the third one is we have the other Boolean attribute called disabled. I'm giving something to be disabled. I'm not going to implement this. So I'm just giving a disabled. So what happened? So this particular reset button is disabled. And the other, the Boolean attributes also there. And now we understand about the form elements. So that is form attributes. What are the form attributes we have? So already we know that action. So action is to upload the, so whatever the files your the user is typing some information that will get stored in the action value. Okay. Example, if I'm having an action value to be .php, then the values will get saved in the .php file. Okay. And next is something called as no validate. So what is called as no validate? For example, I'm using in my form, I'm just using no validate. Removing this. Okay. And if I type something wrong here, if I click on submit, it is accepting because it is no validity. Even if you use required also, it won't accept. Okay. And next is example, I'm giving an action. It's going to be empty and something called as a method attribute. Here we have a two values. One is get and post. So get will be getting the elements and displaying it in the URL itself. Okay. So here I'm just giving a auto complete. Let me save some information. Okay. Giving a contact number. Let me give it properly, otherwise it will not showcase. And browse it. Some whatever the files you have. Okay, and I'm clicking on the submit. Okay, save login. Yes, I'm just saving the things. Okay, if what I have mentioned, this autocomplete, I'm giving a value to be on. Okay, and if I wait a minute, let me refresh. So off means it won't showcase any previous details. But if I give on, just look at the table one more time. So last name, date, nothing has been mentioned here. Okay, but if I'm just giving autocomplete, for refresh, you can see all the details that is appearing, or which I've already saved on the piece. Clear? So that is the attribute, this autocomplete attribute value. So why we are going for this. So everyone is clear with this? And we have different form elements. So form elements, we know input, select, and text area, and option, something called as label. So label is nothing but, so it is for a screen reader, we are adding that label element. So label is, but the same output you will be getting. Okay, but only for a screen user, so sorry, for the screen reader, we are going for this label element. Otherwise, the output will be similar. Okay, and then something called as option element, and also we have something called as a field set. Let me create a field set. Okay, so this is a field set, and I'm giving um, notification only 2 more days to close this application. Okay, this is like a just a alert message I'm just doing. to the field set. And let me cut this. And after the field set, I'm using a option called legend. Legend is also the another element. Sorry. Here you will be giving up values in the legend. In the field set, we'll be creating a borderline. So let's check. So here you can see the field set is creating a borderline, and this one it is showcasing the the text which we have given. Clear? So this is how we'll be creating a forms. Any doubts from this, guys? Form elements, any doubts? Yes or no? And here, some descriptions are given. Let's see this. So first is action attribute. Okay, action attribute means URL to where the form data will be submitted. If the blank, then it sends to the current page itself. Okay, and the URL itself, you can see the output. And method is how data is sent, either get or post. So get means it's like unsecured. You can see it on the all the details on the URL itself. But post means it will stored in a some particular given file which we mentioned in the action value. Okay, and enc type. What is enc type means? Encoding type, the format of the data. Default, that is application XWW form URL encoded. Okay, it's a type of format data. And target, example anchor target, like a Windows frame, same as anchor target you can mention. And the name of a form can be used to refer to the form in the JavaScript. Example, what they are talking about is, example, if I give something else here in the import, I'm just adding a name value, and also I can add a ID value. So when this one is going to useful, any idea? So when this particular ID and the name attribute is going to useful. Okay. So actually here they have mentioned in the PPT what they have mentioned. So what is the name? The name of the form can be used to refer to the form in the JavaScript. Okay, in the JavaScript, if you're trying to fetch some details of the form, then you will be using a name and ID over there. Clear? So the next is the encrypt type. So encrypt type means where you will be adding us here in the form element. Okay, the form element will be adding this encrypt type. So in this place, enc type, and then you need to mention the thing. So what is enc attributed is actually this is specify how the form data should be encoded. How the data form should be encoded when submitting it to the server. Okay, so that is the thing why we are adding this. And this will be like, there are different values we can specify. There are different value. One is like application XWW form URL encoded. So this that is a default one. Let me show you. Application slash XWW hyphen form URL encoded. Okay, so this particular is a default one. So all the characters are encoded before send. Okay, before sending, it will be encoded. So that is why we are using this. And this will be, the spaces are converted into some plus symbols. And the special characters are converted to ASCII X values. So let's say So let me get into this form. Okay, so if I'm giving some value, let me give the phone number also. So let me give it as a get method get. So what happened is in the URL, you can easily, see that spaces which is occupied. So let me remove all this. Let me create a simple form. Okay, it will be easy to understand. So inside this URL encoded, just you are having two inputs. Okay. So here you need to mention some ID and names for the input fields. And once it is done, if you submit the form, you can directly in the top, you can see if there is any spaces that will be occupied with a special character. Okay, clear? So this is about this, form encrypt type. And what are the other values? There is something called as a multi-part and form data. So here, if I use multi-part and form data, so this value is necessary. For example, the user will upload a file through the form. Okay, then you'll be using this and text and plain. So this sends the data without any encoding at all. Okay, so there is the another value which has, text slash plain. It will not encode anything. It's just a plain content which we have given. Clear? Clear, everyone? Can I get some response from you? What is the use of the field set? Yes. So field set is just to give you the borderline, and it will show you some indication of how what is the the form is going to be, and you can also upload all the form inside the field set. So it creates some borderline. That's it. So mostly, you guys have come across this particular element, I think. Yes or no? Okay. So we can say like just draw a box. So around there is no importance at all. Just for the styling purpose, they have included. Okay. Yeah. There is a PPT. Okay. So these are the different subtags, attribute, values, text, passport, number, radio checkbox, files, and submit reset. We have gone through, and select text area and button. So button is also the same thing, like input which we are getting. So let me remove this. Okay, and to create a button. So if you want to create a button, to use the element button here, and the name is going to be, let's say, I'm giving a sum. So it is same like input fields, but see here. So like this, you'll be getting a button. Okay, and create this one we have done. So multimedia, yesterday we were seeing about video, right? So today we can see the audio file. So audio file also the same thing. So here in the audio files, you don't want to give any width and height. Okay, directly you can go with the element without giving any attribute called width and height. Okay. Uh, so I think so here you can use the audio. So audio element. So inside this, I'm creating a SR source. src is equal to what is the file name. Okay. And let me download some audio file. So here also we have multiple, different extensions we have. Let me download .mp3. So there are different size variations. Let me copy this. Let me download this file. Let me copy this here. Okay. And .mp3. So the file name is .mp3. And you need to mention the type. So type is equals to this is the audio. I'm just giving audio, and here the format is going to be mpg. Okay. So now if you refresh this, what happened? Let me check. Source src, the file, the audio file. So let me change this to mp3. So whether the file name is correct or wrong. Okay, we can, sorry, I forgot to give this controls. Yeah, so now it is working. So controls is very important. So otherwise you cannot, okay, it is playing. Clear? So like this, what you try is you can import some other, extension like this. Just copy and paste it and use some other extension. But I don't know whether it is not downloaded, right? So once you download, change this into an OGG file. And here also you need to change the file extension. Okay, clear? Like this you can do. So which is downloading first on the browser, it will be showcasing. Let's see. Uh, okay, let me open this in Google Chrome. Right click, go to inspect. Sure, we have something called as network. Okay, so here it will be showcasing how the from the internet, the all the files like documents, JavaScript, CSS, fonts, image, everything will get downloaded, right? So how many seconds it is going to take? So whichever is taking a lesser time, so that will be displayed first. Okay, clear? So this is all about the audio and video files. And next, this one, HTML graphics. So how we can work with HTML graphics. So graphics, we can normally do it in our different applications like Illustrator, Photoshop. There are so many, right? So, but how we can draw the things using this HTML, right? So let's see. So we can do it in a two-way. Either you can go with the SVG. SVG is nothing but it is called as a scalar vector graphics, and the another one is called as a canvas. So canvas is like you'll be using a JavaScript. Here in the SVG, you'll be using an XML. Clear? So now I'm creating a SVG. So the element is going to be SVG. And here I'm just giving a width. Okay, for the entire box. So let me give it as 500. The height is going to be around some 500. Okay. So what are the different shapes I'm going to draw inside? So first is I will go with a rectangle. Okay. If I draw a rectangle, so what is going to be the width? For the rectangle, let me give 500 and the height is going to be again 500. Okay, inside I'm just drawing a rectangle and the style is that. Okay, the style is going to be what? Just fill the color inside this RGB. So RGB is what? Red, green, blue. Okay. So zero, the ranges, it ranges from 0 to 250, right? So 55. So here you can give the values. Example, if 0 means off, 255 means on. Okay. Either if you, example, if you're giving 0 as a value for a red, then a red will not be displayed. Okay. The green and blue will get displayed. So here I'm just giving some mixed up values. 100, 200, and 255. Okay. And after this, in the style, inside the style, I'm drawing a stroke. Stroke like it's a pencil. So, okay. So what is the pencil width? So pencil width, I'm just giving a value to be 3. And the stroke color. So what is the pencil color now? So we give the background, that is fill up color inside the rectangle. What will be the color? So that is something blue kind of color we'll be getting it. Okay, here in the stroke, the pencil color, it is going to be some dark blue. Okay, let me give it as a black color. Black color, if I give 0, 0, 0, then it is going to be black color. Okay, just close this rectangle. So as a self-closing tag, you can give it here. It's okay. So now, okay, so here I have drawn some rectangle. Okay, next I'm going to draw some circle. So how we can draw a circle? A circle in a normal, the everyone would have read mathematics, right? So there we have used a compass. In a compass, what is the purpose? You will be marking the point and you will be circling it, right? Then, so here we need some three coordinate. So one is CSX. Let me take it as CSX, X coordinate points and Y coordinate points is going to be 50. And what is the radius? So radius, I'm just giving some 40. Okay. And for this also, I need some value. Let me copy this. Okay. And I'm going to give some different colors here. Let me give some mix up color. Sorry, I'm sorry. Here I need to use some red and 0. Okay. And I'm giving a white color. So let me to for white color, I'm sorry. So for light white color, I need to give us 255, 255, 255. Okay, it will be giving a what white color. So let me close this circle. So now you can see one circle has been appeared. Okay. And next thing is, for example, I'm trying to draw some ellipses. How I can draw ellipses? So ellipses attribute, that is element. Here, the coordinate points is going to be x and y, and the radius is going to be two values, that is x and y. Okay. So I'm giving the value to be cx is going to be 100 and cy is going to be some 100. Okay, let's take 200. This is 80. Okay. The Rx value is to be 100 and Ry is 50. Clear? So then again, I need to style this up. For styling, let me copy this. Okay, so this is ellipsis. Like this, you can draw the line, polyline, polygon. It goes on. Okay. So I hope everyone understood. So how to create this SVG graphics? Yes or no? Any doubts from this? If you have any doubts, please let me know. And how to put media files and create a graphics on HTML page we have discussed. Next, come to a very important topic that is called as block element. Anyone have an idea about what is block element already? Anyone got an idea about what is block elements? So who are all from CSE? Just raise your hands. Who are all from CSE department? Okay, okay, fine. I think you know the term called block element. Any guesses? What block element is going to be? So div container. Okay. Block element means element which arrange in a line by line. Okay, good. Div tag, tag name. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much for your response. So actually, Ma, this is a one of the interview question. Okay. Uh, so it will be if suppose you are having some multiple choice question, if you are attending for whenever you're attending for this front end development, this definitely asks to you. Okay. So what is called as block level element and inline element? Okay. So block level element means, if example, I have a heading. Okay. And I'm giving this to be a block level element. So what happened? I'm trying to give some style attribute. Let's say I'm just giving a background color. Okay. So I've given some background color. Next is I'm writing the another one is paragraph. Let's take inline element. I'm adding a span element. Okay. Span element style is equals to okay. So now let's see the output. So now you can see what is the difference. Okay. So in the heading, that is in the H1 element, what happened? I have given a background color. Okay. It is taking for the entire row. Okay. The entire row is occupying the the space. The entire space is occupying the block level element. But if you see, when we are using a span element, okay, the span element is considering it is only taking the necessary width or necessary space which is required for a content. Okay, that is a difference between a block level and inline element. Now, in an interview, what kind of questions you will be getting is, can you name some three elements? Okay, let's have a activity like this. Okay, let me give some tags. You just identify whether it is going to be an inline or a block level element. Just understand the concept. Block level element, it occupies the entire row, and inline element, it occupies only the necessary width. Okay. So now I'm just giving a image tag. Okay. Let me take some image. I'm just copying the link, paste it here. And also I'm giving a required width, which I need. Let me give 50 and height is going to be 50. Isn't it? Okay. So now we check. Let me remove this that is paragraph element. So now can you guys tell me, is the image tag is an inline element or a block level element? In case I have given some answer, block level element always takes up the full width available, stretches out to the left and right as far as it can. Yes, great, Venkatesh, you're right. Yes, Supriya. Supriya have given the answer as inline, not incline. It is inline. Okay. Maybe a typing mistake. So yeah. Okay, fine. So it is an inline element. Great. Why? Because it is accepting whatever the width and the height I'm given. So according to that, it is adjusting on the same line itself, right? So next is so this one link. So link is a so anchor tag is an inline or a block level element. Yeah. Again, Supriya, you're saying like it is the inline. Yes, exactly, because it is adjusting on the same line. So now next, let me take an order list. Okay. And I'm giving sorry. Home contact. Oh. So what the inline element is going to be? I'm just talking about the inline element. Inline element is a block level or okay. What about others? Again, that is a block level element. Great. And whatever the headers or navigations and other things, that is also considered to be what? A block level element. So it will be asked like this in exam, that is in interview. So give me some three examples for inline, or they will be asking like give some three examples for block level element. Then you can give these sort of examples. Clear? Okay. I hope everyone understood about what is inline and block level element. So now we are getting into the CSC part, CSS part. So we have understood what is HTML and how to create a form, table, and to input media files and a lot of things. Am I right? So now we will just get into what is CSS. So CSS is a cascading style sheet is used to style the web pages. Example, I already have, okay, let's take a word again. I'm just typing some text on a word. Let's say I'm typing Uma Maheshwari. Okay, so it will be in a black and white. Am I right? So the text will be in black color and the background will be in a white color. So what happens? I don't want that to be in a black color. I want to make some style. I want to make it a present, more appealing. So what I can do, I'll be adding I'll be increasing the size and I'll be adding some colors to it. There are so many things, right? So how this can be processed using a CSS. Okay. So this is used to style the web page and cascading a style sheets or fondly referred to as a CSS. The reason for using this to simplify the process of making a web page a presentable. So this is how the CSS works. So we might have hear a lot of story about presentation, and this is used to add some kind of properties and values, and how the CSS works. So this is the image. Just look at the image. What's in your mind? Just put it in the chat box. CSS rule set. We use CSS for styling and HTML. Okay, good. Okay, so we'll discuss about how the CSS works. Okay. First one is we are loading a HTML page and then it will get parsed. Okay. And then once it is done, the two separate parts, it is different. So one is it will load the CSS and then parse the CSS. And then it creates a DOM tree. DOM tree in the sense, in the browser, it will be arranged in a DOM. That is a document object model. All the elements will be converted into an objects. Okay, all the element tags will be converted into object because the browser it will understand directly. It will not understand, so that's why it is changing to a DOM tree. Then finally, it is displaying out. And what are the characteristics of CSS? So maintenance, time saving, support. So maintenance means it is easy to maintain. Changing in a single place will affect globally in your website. So no need to change every specific places. Okay. And time saving. We can easily use any single CSS script at multiple places. That's also possible. Okay, if you're saying it in a external CSS file, then you can use it. And support CSS is supported by all the browsers and search engines. Advantages and disadvantages. So what do you think? What will be the advantages and disadvantages? So first, CSS is compatible with all devices. With the help of CSS, a website maintenance is easy and faster. And CSS support consistent and spontaneous changes. And CSS make a website faster and enhances search engine capabilities to crawl the web pages. And disadvantages of CSS. In CSS, there is a cross browser issue. If you design anything and check on the Chrome, it looks perfect, but that does not mean it will look the same in the other browser. So that may get varied. Yeah. So then you have to add a script for that browser also. There is a lack of security in CSS. And what are the types of CSS? So we're going to see about cascading style sheet. So previously we have included CSS in a normal element. How we have included, any idea? If I want to add some colors or the other font styles or whatever the properties which I'm going to apply, so how I can do it? So in the HTML, how we will be doing it? Yeah, through attributes, right? So through attributes, we will be adding the colors and the other things we have in the same how here also. So that is called as a inline attribute. Okay. So example, I'm just giving this H1 and I'm adding a style attribute and I'm creating a border. Let's say 10 pixels solid, or let me go with inset or ridge. Coral. Okay. And I'm giving some text. Inline style sheet. So like this, you can see the text. Okay, easily you can do it using this inline style sheet. This you can also do it using a that is internal style sheet. What is called internal style sheet? Here you can see they have mentioned. Okay, let me tell you. So what is a called as an internal style sheet? So let me write the same. Let me take it as H2. I'm giving as an internal style sheet. Hmm, okay. And in the head part, I'm just adding a style attribute. Inside the style attribute, H2 is a selector. It is not only the element is going to be a selector. So we have a different selectors like ID. In the upcoming slides, we'll be seeing it. As of now, this is the element. Okay, I have chosen the element. And next is here we are giving a property and this is going to be a value. So here also I'm adding a property and value. Let me give, I want to align my text in the center. So I'm giving text align to be a center. And I'm adding some text shadow here. Okay. So here you can see the internal style sheet has been applied. That is your text is in center and I have given a text to shadow. So text to shadow is nothing but the values you need to give. So where it exactly to be placed. Example, I'm giving 5 and 5. So it has been enlarged. If I am giving something like 10 and the 10, the sizes and the splitness of this the spread values and this one get increased. Clear? So next is I'm going to use a external style sheet, create a new file and give a name to be style.css. So extension should be .css. Let me create an element. Okay, here I'm just giving as an external style sheet. So how this can be done? External style sheet, you need to go here and type. This is going to be H3, right? Let me check the element name. Okay, H3. So what is a property? I'm giving a text decoration. It's going to be wavy. And if you want to give some color for the text, you can give. And what else we can add? Okay, let's. So now we will not be getting any changes. Why? Because I didn't link this style sheet with this HTML. So to link this, I have to include one particular element. So the element is called what? Link. Sorry, the tag is called link because it doesn't have any closing tags. Okay, this is an empty element. So link, and then I'm just giving a href, the link file name. So file name is style.css. Okay, the attribute name I have to mention is href, and uh, what is the file name is going to be. And also you can just mention how it is going to be related using a style sheet. So now you can see the color has been changed, but the wavy is not applied. Uh, Let me try this. Yeah. So but the wavy is not working. So let's see the here, the underline and the overline has been applied. Whatever you're just giving the values, so that will also be. So let me give some border, or instead of border, I'm just giving a margin. So margin values for the top, I need some 50 pixels. So you can see the gap. So it is taking some 50 pixels. Okay. So this is a difference between what? Inline, internal, and external sheet. So here they will be asking one question. If example, there is something for concept called as a cascading style sheet. Sorry, cascading the order. If in the case, okay, let me delete all the other things. So I have given a H1. So let me change all this to be H1. So can you tell me which particular element will be considered? So whether it is taking the inline style sheet or internal or external. Any idea? I hope my question is understandable for you. I have given a same element name but a different properties. Okay, it is accepting an external. Okay. Thank you, Supriya. And what about others? External again. Okay. So let's check. So whether it is going to be an external or internal or inline. So it has been applied. Let me remove this. So if it is going to be an inline, so let's take the same thing. I'm changing the color alone. Okay. Using the same thing here and the color using is this. So now we will check. So which color has been applied first, which is considering. So it is considering the inline. Okay. If I'm not using an inline element, then it is considering the what? This still. That is the internal style sheet has been applied. And finally, the external style sheet things will be applied. Clear, everyone? Okay. And then what is different CSS selectors we have? Let's see. What are the different CSS selectors? So as of now, we have used one selector. What it is? It is an element selector. So there are different like universal, grouping, class, and ID. So let's check the theory and then we'll move on to the the coding part. So selector, to apply the CSS to an element, you need to select it. CSS provides you with a number of different ways to do this. If you have got some text that you only want to be larger and read, if it is the first paragraph in an article, how do you do that? Okay, if it is going to be the first paragraph. So this is the only one I want to make it as a large and red. Then how it can be possible? So I'll be using the CSS selector to be display that specific element like article, the element name and the paragraph and colon. And then I'll be giving us a first of type. So first of color type is going to be the color red and the font size is going to be 1.5 EM. Yes. There's one more reminder for everyone. I can see that only 40 students have completed. What about the remaining students? So please complete the assessment. If you are just attending the session, that is not going to help you for a placement and the certification. Okay. So please complete your assessment. Once you're done, just give me some response in the WhatsApp group or privately. Okay, clear? Everyone need a certification, right? And internships. So please complete it carefully. And what about the external certificate? Guys, everyone completed with your external certificate? Forgot to ask you. So Microsoft certification. In the end of the session, I will tell you some things which you need to follow after completing the LinkedIn. So that is after completing the certification, extra certifications. Okay, clear? Yes or no? Just give me thumbs up. Bhumika, I think you are sharing your screen or I don't know, something was, I can see it on my screen. I think you are sharing the screen. Just close it off. Okay, okay, fine. So yeah, the next is the type selectors. We have something called as a class selector. Class selector means a HTML element can have one or more items. Okay, the HTML elements have one or more items defined in their class attributes. Okay, so the class selectors matches any element that has a class applied to it. Example, a DAV element. So DAV element is what? It's a different element. Button is a different element and paragraph is a different element. And but you can see the class name is, you can apply the same class name for the different element. Okay, that is applicable. And grouping selector is, if example, I have a different element, I need to apply the same thing. Okay, so the selector does not have to match only the single element. You can group a multiple selector by separating them with the commas. Using a comma, you can add it. An ID selector should be the only element on a page with that ID value. You select the element with an ID selector like this. And universal selectors. Universal selector means also known as a wildcard, matches any element. Okay, so this rule causes every element on the page to have a hard pink text. Universal element means what? All the element colors, the text color will be in a what color? It will be in a hard pink color. And attribute selectors. So attribute selectors, it instructs the CSS to look for the attribute by wrapping the selector with the square brackets. Let's consider the data type. Okay, you will be mentioning a data type and the what the value is going to be. So this, CSS looks for all the element that have an attribute of data type. Okay, what is the attribute? Example, here you can see in the div container, the attribute is going to be what? Data type, and the value is going to be primary. Instead of looking for a specific value of data type, you can look for an element with the attribute presence regardless of its value. In a data type, you can just mention the color colon red. So how it is going to be applied for? It will be applied for this div container as well as this. Okay, both of this. Let's see how we can do the things. Okay, the previously we know what is element selector. So let me create a class selector. Let me give div container and let me give some paragraph. Okay, and I'm just giving a name to be a class selector. So these are called as a class selector. I'm just giving a class name to be what? Let's give it as a class A. Okay. And here I'm using this as a in a internal style sheet. So how you need to mention a dot A inside this will be giving a property values. Let's say for an example, I'm just giving some text decoration, or we'll go with some other properties. Okay, let's give some border. Give 5 pixel solid, or let's go with a dotted. Okay, so I've given this and I want this text align to be in a center. Now we will check the output. So you can see for all the elements, but everything is a different element. Okay, this is going to be a heading and this is going to be a some other text and this is going to be different one. But for all the elements, the attribute has been applied. Clear? So the next is called as ID attribute. So let's take ID is going to be the unique element. We can use it for one particular element. So let's consider taking the heads2 element. I'm creating the ID to be R. ID selector. To select the ID selector. So how we will be doing it? Hash R, and inside this we'll be giving some values. Let me give some padding value for this one. 10 pixel and margin. So I don't want margin. Border bottom. So let me give some value to be okay. So you can see the uniquely it has been given some the ID selector and the line, the underline has been drawn. Clear? Okay. So this is a difference between the ID selector and the class selector. You just want to understand what attribute we are using and here what symbol we are using. Okay. And then next to that, how we can group the elements. Let's say I'm just removing this. Okay, I have different things, right? So let me remove this. What are the elements I have? H1 and DAV container, paragraph, and the ID is hash R, right? So inside this, I'm just giving a border, or let me go with some other content. Okay, you give try to give this. It's going to be baby. Baby is not. We can see for all the different things. So even for ID, even for class, even for element selector, you can combine together using a what? Using a separator. That is a comma separator. You can just join it. So this is called as what? A grouping selector. And something called as a universal selector. Example, I have all the content. Okay. Let me give the asterisk value and I'm giving a background color is going to be something. Let me give a lavender. So what happened? For the entire thing, it has been changed. So, and also I'm trying to change the text color. So it is also get changed. Okay. So this is how we'll be doing it. Clear any doubts? Till this any doubt? Any doubts from the universal selector, element selector and class, and the another one is ID selectors. So these are the different selectors we'll be using. Okay. And also one more thing that is called as attribute selector. So that also we can use it. Just you need to give, if you're giving any input element or if you're creating anything specially, the different name which if you are trying to provide, then you can go with the what the input attributes, or we can say like we can apply that for our coding. So let's see. So let's go with a very simple example. Okay. So let me create one link in the, here in the body element, a anchor, and I'm just giving href is equal to hash. Okay. And I'm giving a value. Let's consider I'm giving EduNet Foundation as my link. Clear? And what I'm trying to do is I'm just applying some target name. Okay. So let me give a target name is going to be what? Red. Okay, my target name is going to be red, or you can just give top. Now here in the CSS part, so I'll be adding a anchor tag inside this target. We're applying something. So let me give some background color. So you can see the background color has been changed. Like this, you can give a target or whatever the specific attribute you are trying to give, you can directly give it. Clear? So any doubts as of now?